Hey, this is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore, coming to you from my somewhat dirty garage. And today is a special day. Today is Cow Day. And this is something I look forward to every single year. I buy a half a cow every single year. And the reason why is that's where I'm going to get the bulk of my food from for the entire year. And, you know, I got over 200 pounds of quality beef. And this is beef that is grass-fed, grass-finished, no hormones, no vaccinations. Total cost of this, less than $6 a pound, which, you know, is fantastic. I mean, if you get it from places like White Oak Pastures or one of the other really good regenerative farms that are willing to ship, you're looking at $15 a pound just for ground beef. I get a whole half cow, including, you know, all the different steaks, roast. I get some other things too. I like to get the beef liver, you know, and they are nice enough to put it in small little packages. I only eat about 4 or so ounces every single week. Fort Cobb Beef Processing is a family-owned business. They do the butchering, and I like my steaks cut really thick, like 1.5 inches, and they'll custom cut them for me just the way I like it. I get a lot of hamburger with this, and I want it to be extra fatty, and they throw in extra fat. There's some other things you get with it, like the soup bones, you know, and usually I'm the only one that when I buy half a cow that wants the soup bones, so I get all the bones for the whole cow, and I'll use that for beef broth throughout the whole year, and that takes care of that aspect of it, so you don't have to purchase those either. So I'm utilizing a lot of that cow, and you think about that cost of $6 a pound and all the stuff I get out of it, include, you know, they're not charging me for the liver, they're not charging me for the, you know, the beef heart, soup bones and all that type of stuff. You know, they're just doing it basically the finishing cost of the meat, and this is stuff that they would have to throw away if I didn't want it. So I want it, and, you know, any leftover liver, you know, it goes to my friend's dog, and they take care of that. So everything, you know, gets utilized, so it's a really good use of money. Now, why in the world do I do it, and is it mandatory? Can you be a good carnivore and not buy a whole cow or a half a cow every year? And yeah, the answer is yes. And frankly, you know, if you're not eating ultra processed food, you're way ahead of the game. I mean, if you can get the cheapest hamburger, luncheon meat, sardines, etc. from your favorite neighborhood grocery store, yeah, you're going to be doing better than 90% of Americans who are eating the bulk of their food in ultra processed glop. So, you know, you're way ahead of the game just by doing it. But my thought was, when I first tried out carnivore in March 2020, it was during COVID. And the reason why I decided to try it after listening about it from December 2019 until March, and I'd, you know, been studying it, I'd been listening to Dr. Barry, Sean Baker, and some others talking about how good it was for you, I wasn't completely convinced. But COVID hits, and, you know, there's a pandemic, and frankly, I didn't want to go to the supermarket. Even though I was eating very low carb, I just wanted to buy a month's worth of meat and eggs and forget about it, so I didn't have to go to the grocery store, because they were making you walk down those stupid aisles and wear a mask and all this other stupid stuff. So, you know, and I did not want to be fighting in line with people who were trying to buy toilet paper. So I went ahead and bought a month's worth of meat and stuff and lost about 10 pounds and felt fantastic and saw my body composition changing for the good. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. So I started interviewing ranchers, and I bought about, you know, cow from, you know, a quarter to an eighth of a cow from 4 different ranchers, because at that time during COVID, these guys were selling directly to restaurants, and that market was closed off. So they were selling direct to consumer. So I started trying out these different ranches, and I found this one type of beef that I thought was head and shoulders above the rest. I thought it tasted fantastic, And on top of that, he did not use hormones and did not vaccinate his herd. So I went down to go meet him, and it was Mr. Potter at Potter Farms, and he's kind of a semi-retired engineer, and I really liked meeting him and the way he raised his cows. He's got like 8 pallets of different ground. He's always rotating his cattle. He knows the different types of grasses that are grown on the different pallets. He doesn't use any herbicides or stuff like that on that grass, and it is a completely natural regenerative process that makes for very healthy cows, and which produces great tasting beef. And frankly, I know that not everybody can do that, but if you go and you research and you find a person that is producing beef or chickens or whatever you eat, and they don't let you come over to visit their place, I wonder about them. Because I think most of the ones that I want to work with are people that are very proud of what they're doing, how they're doing it, and they like to show off a little bit. And it was kind of fun, to go over there and see this cow, see how they're raised, and go over and visit the butcher shop. And I got to see, kind of behind the scenes of their operation, family-owned operation, Fort Cobb Meat Locker, and they do a great job of of cutting the beef and butchering it, etc. And it is really nice to get to know the people that are producing the food that is feeding you, and they do a great job. And they take a lot of pride in their work, and it's great stuff. So, if you can, take the time, get to know the people that are producing your food, get to know the people that are, making your life possible, basically. And it's not always possible, but boy, it's really cool when you get to know all that type of stuff. What does it take to do this? Well, I went and did a little online research and found out that you can put about a half a cow in a half-size freezer. And I went to Best Buy, found a cheap little half-size freezer, and boom, that's all I've been using, and it's worked real well ever since. And relatively inexpensive. And that's the bulk of your calories, and this is what's going to keep you healthy. I'm all in favor of it. This is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. If you like this message, please hit like and subscribe. Join this channel of other like-minded folks. I will talk to you again soon.